Have you noticed that everyday essentials don't seem to get cheaper anymore? Whether it's inflation, supply chain disruptions, severe weather, or changes in global markets, some products can jump in price with very little warning. And I have personally seen this, and I know a lot of people have seen it since COVID. It just seems like everything is getting higher and higher. The ability to save has just become smaller, and people are using their credit cards a lot more. And with this day and time that we're in, the goal isn't to panic buy, it's to buy smart. So today I'm sharing 20 things that are worth considering buying before prices increase again. And these will be practical items many households use regularly and purchase them gradually during normal times that can help us avoid paying more later. Peace, this is the Modest Prepper. So let's get started right into the list. Number one, staple foods. These are things that are generally still inexpensive, like rice, beans, flour, pasta. But these are things that we should start buying and storing it now, because as things get worse, we know things will be higher. And one of the major reasons that we should think about stockpiling these items is that we have to remember that there are foods that we don't produce in America. There are foods that we do produce in America, but we don't get enough of to feed the entire population. So therefore, we have to import food from other countries. And with the way of the world and the uncertainty, it's important for us to think ahead. And some of the things that we get imported here, of course, we get fresh produce and fish. Those things are heavily imported into the U.S. The majority of fruits, tree nuts, seafood, most of those are imports. And we get, I believe it's like 30% of the U.S. consumption of like vegetables, sugar, beverages, that comes imported as well. Another item that is heavily imported is coffee. Now, if you're like me, you need your coffee. And we import about 99% of the coffee beans from other countries. Matter of fact, the U.S. is the world's largest coffee importer, and we get it mostly from Brazil, Colombia, Vietnam, according to BBC News. So we want to think about our coffee. So start buying it in bulk, whether you go to Sam's Club or Walmart or any of those bulk buying places. Even if you get your coffee from Amazon, get the kind you like. You don't have to have, a boatload of it, but have enough to carry you forward. That way, if things get low, you have something to rely on. Beans, that's low. That's about 5 to 15% of dry beans that's imported to the U.S. And we have to think about other staple goods like sugar and salt supply, oats. These foods, they store well when packaged properly, and they form the foundation of countless meals. So those are things that we should start buying and just having a little extra at a time, so that way we can have it if items get low, or when items get low at this point. Number two, cooking oil. Whether you get vegetable oil, olive, canola oil, cooking oils, it has experienced significant price swings over the past several years. I have noticed since COVID, I particularly like avocado oil or some olive oils, and they have went up a lot. And rotating a few extra bottles can save money over time. So if you can get 1 or 2 extra bottles of the oil that you like, get it now. Just make sure it's stored properly, stored in a cool place, and make sure we're using it in time so that way it won't go rancid. But cooking oil is definitely something we should purchase now. Canned meat. Now, canned meat, there could be some discrepancy. Some people may say, well, I don't eat canned meat, or how do I know if the canned meat is halal? Go for whatever you feel is best. You know your home, you know what you eat, you know what your family consumes. So use your best judgment. But if you're getting some of these canned or packaged items, go for the chicken, the tuna, whether you get canned salmon. Protein is often one of the more expensive grocery purchases. And having shelf-stable options, it provides a convenience and emergency backup, and gives you the opportunity to get your protein as well. If, for instance, you can't go get a fresh chicken, or food is so high. I know when I'm looking at chicken and beef, or any of those items that you may eat in your family, they have gone up so much that people have not purchased these items just because it's not in their budget. So if it's something that you like to get, it's an option. Number 4, coffee and tea. Now, I talked about this earlier, but coffee prices can fluctuate because of weather, crop conditions, and even transportation costs. And if your family drinks coffee or tea daily, buying it when it's on sale, it makes a lot of sense, or even buying in bulk. So think about that. And don't forget whatever you have with your coffee, whether you have your powdered cream or sugar, just some options. Number 5, spices and seasoning. Don't forget the items that make your food enjoyable. And I know people may say, well, if I'm surviving or if things get challenging, I'll just eat what I have. But if you can prepare now and just buy some spices and seasonings and be proactive, why not? Number 6, feminine hygiene products. Now, for many women, these aren't optional purchases. From menstrual napkins, tampons, liners, and similar items that are used month after month, prices have increased in stores over recent years. I have seen since 2020 the price of feminine products seem to almost double on the products that I purchase. So buying them in bulk can definitely help save on costs. And like I said, for our young girls, our women, those are not optional purchases. So you want to make sure you have what you need on hand, so that way when that time of the month comes, we can make sure we have those items to stay clean and be able to get through that time. Number 7, toilet paper. Now, I know we have all seen what happened during COVID. We've seen early in the pandemic how quickly shelves can empty. People was going crazy over toilet paper. Just keep a reasonable supply without overbuying. If you don't want to stock a lot of toilet paper, maybe get some of those wipes they have in their stores that you can use as well, just to balance the amount of toilet paper and that, because I know toilet paper can take up a lot of space. So just get what you need to get. Number 8, laundry detergent. Now, laundry detergent frequently goes on sale, so buying large containers during discounts, it can stretch your budget. Again, you can go to some of the big box stores. You can buy it in bulk. You can buy it online, just to make sure you have what you need on hand to continue to wash the items you need. Number 9, dish soap. Now, this is another everyday necessity that is easy to overlook until you're out. This also goes for dishwasher detergent if you have a dishwasher. But like I said, that's not a necessity. Dishwasher detergent is not, Dish soap, you want to have that on hand because you still want to be able to clean, wash dishes. So dish soap is something that it's still pretty low, but it doesn't hurt to have some on hand. Number 10, toothpaste and toothbrushes. Dental care, I did a previous video, and I encourage everyone to look at that video. It's definitely some essential items on there. Dental care is much less expensive than dental treatment. Stocking up on a few extras is simple and it's practical. So if you want to know the items, refer back to that video and it'll give you a list of things that you should purchase. Number 11, over-the-counter medicines. Pain relievers, cold medicine, allergy medicine, stomach medicine. These are things that can catch you off guard and you want to have on hand, because going without it can be very stressful. So always check expiration dates and rotate your supply. But those are things that you want to have on hand in case you may need it. Number 12, batteries. Now, whether it's AA, AAA, whether it's the batteries for the smoke detector, you don't want to constantly hear that beep. That's dangerous, especially if you can't get those batteries from the store. Even flashlight batteries, storm seasons, and power outages can make batteries harder to find. So it doesn't hurt to have a little battery buddy. Just keep some batteries on hand. And if you don't know what kind of batteries you need, go around your house and check for things that need batteries, like your remote controls, your devices, things like that. And speaking of batteries, number 13, rechargeable battery systems. Instead of buying disposable batteries forever, consider investing in rechargeable batteries and a charger why the price for that still isn't that bad. And just to add to that, number 14, solar power generator. This is one of my favorite long-term preparedness purchases because a portable solar power station can keep your phones, lights, laptops, medical devices, and small appliances running during outages without needing gasoline. And if you get a gasoline generator, and if you have it, keep it. There's nothing wrong with having it. It's just I feel having a gas generator is a security risk because it's very loud. You have to get gas for it. If you don't have gas, it doesn't work. And then it can draw attention to you. But it's not bad to have. If you have it, go ahead and use what you have. You don't want to not have it. But a solar power station is definitely useful, and it just requires you to have the sun. And of course, the solar panel, depending on which solar power generator you have. And also, if you have food in the refrigerator, this could help as well, as long as your generator has the proper amount of wattage. While this requires a larger upfront investment, prices and demand can fluctuate, especially after major storms. So if you can't purchase it, you don't have the money, you're just working with a gas generator, that's fine. It's just if you can purchase it, just try to save or just see what the prices are. Do your different research. There are different systems out there. Just do a little research, watch some YouTube videos, and see which one works best for you, because it's definitely a great investment. And try buying it when it's on sale. I promise you, even without thinking about everything collapsing, when you're thinking about power outages, if you're camping, if the power just goes out for a little bit and during a thunderstorm and you need to charge your phone, it's definitely a great investment. Number 15, gasoline. Now, you can't store unlimited gasoline safely, but one simple habit is keeping your vehicle's fuel tank from getting too low. Now, if fuel prices spike unexpectedly or there's a temporary shortage like it was in the 1970s, having a fuller tank gives you more flexibility. So just try to keep a reminder to yourself to not let your gas tank go below a half a tank. Having a full tank at least keeps you from panicking if the sudden increase of gas happens. Number 16, silver. Now, some people choose to own physical silver as a part of a diversified financial plan, even gold. And silver, it has industrial uses and historically has been viewed by some investors as a store of value, though its prices can also rise and fall. But if you decide to buy precious metals, make sure you understand the risk and avoid investing money you'll need for everyday expenses. Gold is also a great investment. That is the only thing that I have seen during the research that has constantly increased over time. The first time I even heard about gold investing was in 2006, I believe. 2006, yeah, it was. And at that time, an ounce was like $600-700. And now gold is over $4,000 an ounce. It peaked over 5,000 a couple of months ago, and then it went down, but it's constantly increasing. So even though you can't eat gold, you always want to diversify your plan. You can have precious metals, food, and items, that's a great deal to have. Number 17, garden seeds. Now, seeds are inexpensive, but it can become harder to find during periods of high demand. And even growing a small amount of your own food, it increases self-reliance. So get in a garden now, just start growing some things, so that way, even if you're just at the beginner stages and you say, I don't have a green thumb, you can gain it with practice. Everything comes with practice. No one is perfect. So just get out there and try. Number 18, water storage supplies. Water is something that is definitely a necessity. You can't get around it. Our body is, 75% water. So we need to make sure we have it. Not only do we need it to drink, we need it to cook, we need it to clean. So get some food grade water containers. Get some of those containers they sell on, I believe, on Amazon or Temu. I believe those water catchment systems, not a system, but a little barrel that you can just collect rainwater. And rainwater, my little experience on gardening is that plants, it responds so much better to rainwater. I'm not sure what the science is behind it, but that's just my experience of it. Water purification tablets is a good thing to have. Water filters. You see when people rush to the store to get waters when it's low, the water filters can be sitting right there, and that's just as good of an option than having water too, or you can have both. But clean drinking water is one of the most important emergency supplies. Number 19, propane and fuel for cooking. If you own a propane grill or camp stove, keep an extra fuel cylinder on hand. It can be useful during power outages, even if you have a regular grill, but make sure you store fuel safely and just follow your local regulations. And last but not least, number 20, basic home repair supplies. Whether that's light bulbs, extension cords, duct tape, tarp, work gloves, air filters. These everyday items can become expensive when demand increases after storms or emergencies. If you have personally been through one like I have, you realize those things can increase in price when there's a strong demand for it. Now, these are the 20 items, but a bonus tip I wanted to mention that I just thought about was ice. When I went without power for like 7 days years ago, that was one of the things that, and it was in the summertime, of course, so that was one of the things that people rushed for, and then you couldn't find it in stores anywhere. So that might be something to think about. I know if it's hot outside, you may have a cooler. Just a little bonus tip. And also, the smartest way to prepare isn't buying everything in one weekend. Let me make that clear. You do not have to buy everything in one weekend or 1 week. Instead, just buy 1 or 2 extra items each grocery trip, especially when they're on sale. And then over time, you find that you build a useful reserve without straining your budget because times are tight for everybody. So in closing, preparedness isn't about fear. It's about making thoughtful decisions before you're forced to make expensive ones. So I'd love to hear from you. What would you add to this list? Leave a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who wants to save money and become more prepared. So until next time, this is the Modest Prepper reminding you to take care, stay grateful, and prep with intention.